Hello and welcome again to my YouTube channel. I'm starting out with this beautiful piece of fluorite in the foreground because we are looking at a Virgo new moon. And fluorite is very good for organization, getting things together, structural alignment, which is very Virgo, earth energy, but it's also purple, so it can relate to the opposite of Virgo, which is Pisces. So let's take a look at the chart for this new moon on September 17th, 2020. It happens at the exact time of 4 a.m. So the precision of Virgo is coming through there. Virgo represents purity and the Mercury energy of embodying a sense of communication and perfection within our physical plane existence. Mercury also rules Gemini, and that's where the verbal and spoken intellectualism comes through, communication comes through. The North Node is still in Gemini, so the direction that we're headed right now is being assisted and fueled by this link through Mercury, Virgo, new moon. New moons are about new beginnings, starting a new cycle. They're also where the yin of the moon and the yang of the sun come together and merge and work in partnership, as opposed to full moons where they're in a dynamic opposition. Mercury is in Libra, so the balancing out of this polarity of day and night, masculine and feminine, is definitely at play here. We're leading into the fall equinox where we have equal light and dark. So there's a building up to that energy that's happening tomorrow and today as well, leading into this new moon. We also have this opposition happening here of the new moon energies with Neptune at home in Pisces. Neptune in Pisces is our creativity, our dreams, our intuition, the spiritual sense of trying to find purity and perfection that the Virgo's physical purity and perfection balances out. So our embodiment, stepping into a new cycle of bringing our dreams and our visions into fruition, into the physical plane, is definitely empowered through this dynamic happening here. Neptune is also retrograde, so this is going back into past information. It's in a review process. We may be reviewing and looking at what are our dreams and our hopes and our intentions for creativity, and how can we bring that into the physical plane. Mars just went retrograde on the 11th into Aries. Chiron is retrograde, Uranus is retrograde, Saturn and Pluto are also retrograde. We have a lot of review process happening here. A lot of going back over energy here. And as I said in my previous video, Mars retrograding into Aries, coming into his home sign, is about the masculine energy coming home to himself within all of us, the potential for anger and frustration coming up, but also that energy can be directed towards innovation and passion and new beginnings, really giving us some fiery, good energy to put towards what do we want to create. But it's also a reflection of the fires that are happening on the West Coast in the United States. And this is linked back to Chiron still in Aries, which is the healing of the self-identity wound and karmic energy and cycles that we've brought forward because of our kind of irrational impetus towards doing things out of anger, doing things out of selfishness, doing things out of a warlike nature, a destructive nature, rather than this powerful Aries energy going towards creation and dynamic new beginnings and innovation, passionate applications of our energy. So the Virgo new moon is about discernment and redefining that and really getting into looking at these things that we have activated here and that we're healing and bringing forward so that we can get a better understanding and find ways of better communicating through the physical plane and through our mental and verbal abilities to communicate what we would like to be bringing this energy into, what we would like to be manifesting. On the 11th, we had a grand trine in Earth with the Sun in Virgo, Uranus in Taurus, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter in Capricorn. We still have this very strong trine happening here between the Sun and now joined with the Moon, with Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto. And the Moon actually created this grand trine a couple of days ago. Again, yesterday, in fact, created this grand trine that the Sun was creating in Earth. So the feminine had a time to be bringing this manifestation, to be bringing this solid embodiment in before combining with the Sun again down here to continue to push the structural, foundational organization of rules and regulations and what we've agreed on socially so that we can rewrite that, restructure that, recommunicate that. There's a lot of potential here to rewrite our mental programming, both individually and collectively, within our relationships, within the whole. Libra, Mercury in Libra is the balancing out, the equality, the social justice of where this dynamic energy is coming forward from. Social rights activism is really highly charged. People standing up for themselves, standing up for who they really are, what they believe in, and then being able to speak up about it, being able to speak within groups of people and address the relationships with ourselves and the earth and our relationship with others, and how we choose to see the justice come forward in that. If we see justice as just us, it's just us, practically speaking. It's the self, it's just us that has created these dynamics within human structures on the planet. And we have to face that. We have to take a look at all the things that we thought were hidden. Pluto, again, is pulling up all those things that were hidden to be shown, to be seen. Pluto co-rules Aries and Scorpio. So there's a dynamic happening here. And this square between Mars and Pluto and Jupiter is still pushing this dynamic, this redefining of the masculine patriarchal energy, but also the matriarchal. This is Capricorn, is the elders. It is the structural organization of dynamics that we've created and foundations. But with this Mars Aries polarity here, we're looking at the masculine energy healing that dynamic, healing the actions, the physicality, the intellectual side that is often seen, the mind is often seen as masculine, whereas the moon and the emotions are seen as feminine. And so here we have the balancing out there of Venus in Leo still, that goddess energy that Virgo also represents, moon in Virgo, the virgin, the purity, the feminine Gaia energy that's balancing this out. Venus in Leo is bringing this creative mastery fire forward from the learning who we are, healing the self-identity wound, figuring out who we are, and then bringing it forward into this mastery, this crowning of the lion and the lioness, the king and queen energy that Leo represents. So we have this feminine goddess energy bringing this sense of purity and awareness of the potential of nourishing and nurturing. Virgo is the harvest, the cornucopia, the link to physical perfection, the potential of the Garden of Eden, the potential of having things right and in order on the physical plane. And she's bringing that energy over to the masculine restructuring of the social dynamics and the physical aspects of what are we creating on Earth. Uranus in Taurus is that as well. That's the goddess energy. That's the revolutionary energy of the physical plane. What are we bringing through into the physical plane through this revolution, internally and together as a whole? So if we bring this information then over to the Dreamspell and Mayan cosmology, on September 17th, 2020, we have a yellow electric human, which is electric tone is activation, bonding, and service. So that's very much in alignment with Virgo energy. Virgo is about service to the whole, service to the puzzle pieces all coming into place to create the whole puzzle. Here's the puzzle pieces as the individual selves. Yellow human is free will, influence, and wisdom. So how are we bringing our self-integrated free will and wisdom through these fiery, creative inner dynamics into service to the whole? How are we accessing our gifts, our skills, to bring them into restructuring this new earth paradigm that we are working on together? And how are we bonding together in that? How are we coming together? How are we communicating within our relationships? How are we bringing this energy together to work for the greater good of the whole? That also holds the awareness of the self. It's not about martyrdom, which Virgo can lean towards. It's about bringing the totality of who we really are and being of service to the whole, so that it heals and infuses ourself, as well as then healing and supporting and being of service to the whole. So the analog here of yellow human is always blue hand. So we have a blue electric hand, which is healing, knowing, and accomplishment. So this self-knowledge, this knowing about who we are, can bring us to this accomplishment on the physical plane. Yellow human and blue hand are ruled by the earth itself in the Dreamspell. So this overall earth energy that's still very highly in a focal point here, being activated, is reflected over here in the Dreamspell. The antipod gift that we are working on integrating, this is our gift that we know as yellow human, blue hand is the healing. The antipod is white electric wind, spirit, breath, and communication. So again, that links up with the Neptune in Pisces, that links up with the embodiment that we're seeing within the earth element and yellow human. We have to listen to spirit. We have to listen to our intuition. We have to listen to these higher divine messages. Free will align with divine will. So the wind fanned the flames here in California and caused so much more devastation. So much more devastation. The imbalances of the elements, the negative polarity of the fire element caused a lot of destruction. And so that's a good thing for us to reflect on and to look at, that now there's so much more healing that needs to happen. There's so much more healing that needs to happen. What have we done? What have we created within the structures and the organization of what we've decided to be as humans on this planet? And what are we now having to heal because of that? But what can we accomplish when we know, we tune into that gnosis, that knowing, getting the messages, bringing the ancestral wisdom forward so that we can work with the forest systems better, so that we can work with the earth in a healthier way, in a more cohesive and coherent and harmonic way. So we have a reflection here. Speaking of the elders, remember that Dreamspell is not Mayan astrology. It is a system that was created based off of the Mayan Zolkin calendar. But the Mayan Zolkin calendar has a completely different count right now. In the Mayan calendar, it's 10 Manik on this new moon. And Manik is originally deer. Deer is the instinctual link with the planet as well. If you think about, what are deer like? Deer are highly intuitive. They're seen as protectors of the forest. And this is the third time I've tried to do this video. A little bit of perfection needing to happen within my manifestation of the physical realm here, right? I did this video yesterday, and there were 2 young bucks in my yard, and one of them came right up next to my window, and I caught it on the video. I wish that video was saved, but I'm learning on YouTube, and my storage cut out. I wasn't able to save the video, so I'm having to redo it. But deer showed up, you know, right there in my yard. Here's the deer. Manik. 10 has to do with perfectionism, right? It has to do with a perfect 10. What do we have to do to create a perfect 10 of having this connection with the earth, having this connection with our ability to be aware and attuned and healing our interaction with the earth, our who we are, what we represent as humans here on the earth. So this is a beautiful balance that we have here of yellow human and blue hand showing up together. When we combine those two, we get a blue storm because they're analog together. Any analog can combine together, create blue storm. 12 and 7 is 19. And we are according to the Dreamspell, we are in a blue lunar storm year, and these fires here started from lightning, which is interesting. So it's a catalyzation to recognize the polarization, the balance that we're looking at. Gemini, Libra, new moon energies, the balance, the polarization of oppositions. Recognizing that we need to come together. We need to work together. We need to continue to have conversations about healing what's right for the self and then what's right for our relationships with each other and the planet. It all ties in together. So you can also see in the Zolkin, here is the 10 Manik, is in the white mirror wave spell in the central mystic column within the Zolkin. The central mystic column in between here is the balance point. In the middle, halfway between the two sides of the Zolkin. So we're healing and being aware of the deer totem animal in the Mayan cosmology that is informing us. Over in the Dreamspell, here's the white dog wave spell that we started a couple of days ago. Love, heart, and loyalty. And here we are at 3 yellow human, electric human, 3 ebb. So you can see how these two, they're out of sync. But they're still working together. Everything's still working together. So the occult hidden helper here for human is always red moon. And because it is an electric tone day, which is a 3, we have an 11, a spectral red moon. So this is dissolving, releasing, and liberating to purify the flow with universal water. We definitely need that right now with all these fires. We definitely need the water. We need to recognize that the water cycles and how we've interacted with the planet are a huge reason why we're seeing all of these fires. The things that we've done to dam up the rivers, the things that we've done to take water from Northern California into Southern California, the ways that we've polluted our waterways, the ways that we killed off the beavers that used to slow the water and provide more saturation for the forests. There's reasons why, ecologically, why we're seeing all of these fires. There's things that we've done as humans on this planet that have brought about the situation that we're in. And we have to reconcile that. We have to realize that. And within the indigenous cultures, we have to have reparations. We have to have regenerative, restorative awareness of the water systems, so that we can listen to spirit that connects us to the earth, to the elements themselves, so that we don't keep following these cycles of destruction. The higher self, the guide today for this day, is Yellow Electric Warrior. Yellow Warrior is questioning, fearlessness, and intelligence. So where's our intelligence coming from? We're now questioning, which Yellow Warrior is ruled by Saturn. We're questioning all of these structures and things that we've agreed upon to be our foundations of the physical plane and our foundations of our rules and regulations. We've got to question that, and we need to do it fearlessly. And what is fearlessness but love? The Course in Miracle talks about fear and love. There's two ways, fear and love. Fearlessness syncs up with love and the heart, getting back to working through the heart, connecting to the heart, connecting to our feminine intuitive wisdom that then brings us into the emotions and the heart that balances out with the intellectualism and the ability to bring emotional intelligence into our embodiment. Practicality through emotional intelligence. Balancing that out with the messages from spirit, spirituality, physicality, bringing it all together. So this is an incredibly powerful new moon, very highly activating for embodiment still, for creating the physical manifestations of things that we've been working on for a long time, bringing it into the physical plane, bringing it into manifestation through the balancing and union of these polarities. One last thing we can look at here. If we go to the unified time, like I said, we have a 3 and a 10. So we're actually a 13 storm. Cosmic storm, which is over here in unified time, which happens to be in the blue hand wave spell. So it all ties in together. We're healing through the catalyzation and self-generation of the energy from the cosmic transcendence of our presence and endurance in the Dreamspell, the 13th tone, which would be 13 Kawak in the Mayan cosmology. It's still storm, it's still the thunder beings, it's still the energy that comes from the thunder beings and the storms, the water systems on Earth. We need to listen to the water, and we certainly could use some wet storms to put out the fires. We could certainly use some spiritual alignment, some greater awareness of how we're accessing our free will and our self-empowerment for the greater good of the whole of humanity and the entire planet, the Earth, and all of the cosmos. Recognizing our place within the cosmos, recognizing how do we fit in to the puzzle that's the whole. How do we organize and restructure in a greater sense of harmony and purity. So that's the reading for September 17th, and I was using patchouli oil today to ground. It's a good earth essential oil. And again, here's the fluorite that's offering us some energy of organization and structure. Grounding this energy into what do we want to embody on this physical plane? What do we want to create here together? How are we going to use this manifestation, Virgo, new moon energy to co-create something better, to co-create something that is empowering and structurally sound, that supports us? Many people are coming together wanting to create communities and permaculture-based living. Virgo is very much the permaculture mindset. And it's not just about the growing of plants and the garden, but it's about the human relationships and the connections that we have with the earth. Permaculture is about following the natural structures of the earth, following the patterns, following nature, following the elements, being in connection with that, and then how we integrate with that, how we come into alignment with that, how we work with that, how we are part of that, recognizing that we are made of the earth as humans. We are here on this earth. We are Gaia's children, and what is our part? How can we actively be of service? How can we apply all of the tools that we have and all of the gifts that we have to better communicate with the earth, to better communicate with each other, to better create, co-create together, to really bring in this sense of new earth energies that we're working on. So enjoy this new moon. It's powerful, healing energy. And there's a lot within these codes. I hope that it helps you access this within yourself, this embodiment, spiritual embodiment that's being offered right now. Alignment with the natural processes, alignment with these fall energies as we move towards the equinox. Balance of day and night, new moon, balance between the sun and the moon. Have a beautiful new moon wherever you are, whatever time it is on this planet. And thank you for watching.